Hey there, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Good morning, crypto friends. How we doing out there? Waking up to a sea of double-digit red as panic pants goes off everywhere. So let's have a look, see if we can get through some of this. Looking at BTC/USD, got all the way down as my voice cracked. We got all the way down to 36,235. So we're looking at support to hold at the 35,800. So what we're doing here is we are in the oversold territory. So we are scouting a bounce. So we'll be watching out. So you see the RSI is below that 30 setting there. So that's basically what we're looking for. And we'll need Bitcoin to bounce first, and then we'll be trailing that with some altcoins. Let's move on to okay, resistance is going to be up there at the 43,936.14. Let's move on to Ethereum, ETH/USD. Well, let's get Ethereum somehow. That didn't get saved. So we're going to come all the way over here on this previous price action. And looking down here at these lows. So there we go. Looks like we have support at the 2603.90 and resistance 2968.50. Moving on to BNB USD. All these got through. I was up early this morning charting all these things and already got through these support levels. So we'll get down there and make those adjustments right there. Maybe too tiny to see on your screen. We're getting that off the previous lows. So we're looking down at 370.05 support and resistance 440.90. Let's move on to ADA USD. Cardano sitting not too bad of pain here. So we do have these indicators back on the chart. So we are scouting buying opportunities right here as we speak. So we're looking at support to hold on Cardano right there on that previous pivot. You can see it's testing it now at the 1.518 support and resistance up at the 1.749. We'll move on to DOT, PolkaDot USD. And there we are on that previous pivot low. So support down at the 34.400 and 40.968 resistance. And we're not in the oversold on DOT. RSI still in the 40 range. Let's have a look at Doge. Doge getting down there to, what is it, 0.3708 current price. Touchdown just below there. So we'll move that support level. There we are. Off this previous low all the way back in May the 3rd, I believe it was. Yeah, May the 3rd. So we're looking at support to hold at the 0.3440 and resistance up there at the 0.4241. For the Doge, just move on to Litecoin, LTC USD. Trigger that stop loss. So we are going to come down here and grab a new low. That should hold it right there. 233.85 is your new support level. And looking at resistance up there at the 283.49 for Litecoin. We are right on the oversold territory right there. So looking for bounces on these things as folks wake up to a sea of red. So let's move on and get support level here. Lots of support there at the 31.1287. Correct. And resistance up there. We'll have to adjust that now. 35.43. Moving on to Stellar, XLM USD. So Stellar down there, support on that previous pivot at the 0.495 and resistance up at the 0.573596. Let's save that real quick and we'll move on to Vechain, VET-USD. Now, I will mention while I'm catching these up that if you're new to the space, this is pretty much normal, as this is where most people accumulate when these things hit bottom like this. So it's a great time to buy. This is not financial advice. It's a good time to scale in incrementally. So we're looking at support 0.111 and resistance up there to 0.147. We'll move now on to FIL-USD. So we're looking at support at the 78.928 and resistance 94.558. Oversold. As you can see, we're down in the, where are we at there? 20, almost in the 20s. So moving on to Storj, STORJ USD, looking at support to hold there at the 1.194, resistance up there at the 1.60. Oversold. Moving on to IOTA, Internet of Things. So we lost that support level, so let's readjust that. So we have new support down there at the 1.347 and resistance up at the 1.606. Let's move on to Comp USD, COMP. Got just beneath that support level on Comp, so we're going to adjust that down. There we go. Maybe hard to see, I'll zoom in here. So 517.78 is your support and resistance up to 597.856. We'll move now on to Basic Attention Coin, BAT-USD. We have support at the 0.8260 and resistance 0.8878. RSI oversold. Moving on to Ethereum Classic, ETC-USD. Came down, tested that support level as my voice cracks again. 58.798 and resistance up at the 71.820. So we're right in this buy target, so we're going to sit there and we'll get that stop loss in there and take that trade. Let's move on to, we save this real quick, MANA USDC. Mana, we have support down there at the 0.8068. And we'll fix this little thing. There we go. It drives me crazy. And resistance at the 0.937. Moving on to Zill. Now, some of these I didn't get a chance to reset up very early this morning. So Zill, we are looking at support all the way down there at the 0.1315 and resistance climbing back through. You're going to be at the 0.1568. NuUSD. I think that was a previous support level we had down there. There we go. Yep, that's it. So we'll get this one out of the way. So we have support all the way down to 0.309. And our resistance level coming back up through going to be 0.401 for NuUSD. Let's move on to NMR USD. And we stopped out of everything that we were in, so good to go there. Looking down at support, we'll double check that because we did get a bounce off of there. Looks good. So support there. Try to keep that in the frame. 47.49 and resistance going to now be the 58.511. Let's look at the graph token, GRT USD. And we'll get down there and see, make sure that bounce held up there. There it is. Whoops. Shot right through it. There's our pivot. There we are. So we have support there at the 0.7713. And resistance, having to go all the way back to, where is this? February. Resistance of 1.054. Moving on to Uniswap UNI USD. You can see the reaction that these things took a dip right as us folks in the United States woke up. So people panic sold when they saw the drop. There we are. So we have support at the 25.476 and resistance there at the 30.708. Let's look on to AAVE USD. It's holding up pretty good. Everything else has been double-digit losses. This is 9.59% down. So AAV looking okay here. So we have our support level. So let's get it all tidied up here for you. So there's our support at the 556.554 and resistance right there coming back through 586.499. And we'll get that stop loss up there. There we go. Let's move on to MKR USD. Must be still dropping. I have alerts going off here. So let's see. KR, there we go. Okay, we have support there at the 3530.79 and resistance coming back through going to be the 3879.93 as we dance around the screen here. Moving on to the NFTs. NFTs seeing the pain as well, even though they're very popular. Right on it too. So we're looking at support at the 1.409 and resistance at the 1.622. Moving on to CHZ USD. Good bounce off of that pivot low down here. So we're looking at 0.32064 support. And there's a resistance 0.414679. Moving on to Theta. And I'll bet you Bitcoin dominance has increased because when a lot of times when they're selling these altcoins, they sell it, the currency they use or the coin they use is Bitcoin, BTC. So there's a bunch of BTC sitting on the exchanges. So we're looking at support at 6.571 and resistance on this previous pivot there 9.06. Let's move on to ENJ. Get all these things out of the way. ENJ still got some wiggle room to go down, so we're going to look at support down there at the 1.08 and going to see resistance on that pivot 1.545. Rounding up here with Harmony 1 ONE USD. Massive drop from its highs, but we're still in good shape up here. So we're looking at support right near these moving average, this 100-day moving average. We didn't lose that, so 0.1301 support and 0.1409 resistance. And we'll trail that back up there with that loss just beneath there. Let's move on to Bitcoin dominance to wrap it up here. As I spoke, yes, it did go up to, we're back up to 42.43 as all this selling of altcoins as they use BTC. Most of the folks have to use that trading pair. So BTC is coming back in now, and then we're looking at 42.39% total crypto market cap all the way down to 1,700,000,000,000. We were at 2,400,000,000,000. 480 actually. So you can see the big drop. So that's a, what is that percentage wise? If you take the full thing, 35% drop in crypto market cap. Quite a bit of money. Well, folks, that does it for me. Hope you got the stop losses in there. Getting ready, got your dry powder ready to buy into some of these bounces here. So have a good one. I'll see you tonight at the Crypto Happy Hour.